All right, so I'm going to get right to it. Recently, we have experienced a loss, and today we'll be just discussing the grief process. And so I'm going to start off with the timeline of kind of what I know happened, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we have a kid that goes down on the track. The coach calls the athletic training room and checks on the athlete. So he says, he's breathing, but he's out. So then coach decides something's not right. Before the athletic trainer gets there, coach begins to call 911. The other athletic trainer, Bill, arrives, and then he calls me because I'm in the weight room with my students and says, bring the AED. So I send a student to sprint out there with the AED, and then I'm getting there as fast as I can. When I get there, I hook up the AED. We let the AED do its job. It says shock, and so we do that. Then we continue compressions and breath until EMS takes over. So then me and Bill go back to the training room. We kind of talk about what happened, and then go from there. I change clothes, go eat lunch, and head to the hospital. This whole time thinking, all right, well, I'm going to go in there and, see he's doing all right. Maybe he's still unconscious or something like that, but I'm going to go to the hospital and just check on him and the family, and they're going to be like, hey, thanks for saving my son. Well, before I get to the hospital, as I'm like in the parking lot there at the hospital, I get a text saying that he had passed. So even at that point, it's still like, oh, okay. Because I'm not really expecting it. It's not real at that point. So then I go in and a couple of the coaches are already there. They're the ones that had specifically worked with him that year. They're there crying and praying and stuff like that. And some of the family members are there, but most of the family members are actually in the back in the room where he is. So, I'm seeing these grown men crying. So my heart begins to break, but so I'm there for a while, for a couple hours, just sitting, kind of talking to family members, talking to our principal and our assistant principal that are there. So the hardest part, the part where my story is probably different, because just doing CPR and walking away, EMS does that stuff all the time. But seeing the family, the mom come out of the room, knowing that her son is gone, one of the assistant principals asked me or introduced me to the mom, said, hey, this is Jeremy. He's one of our athletic trainers, was taking care of your son. And so then she asked me what happened. And, obviously she's crying. So like I'm choked up. I start to tell her kind of what happened. I couldn't even finish telling her what happened. And she just says, thank you. So there was never a, why didn't you save my son or anything like that? She just said, thank you. So, the nurse is talking to me saying, hey, we don't have any idea what happened. We're going to do all this other stuff later, but, we've done everything we could and nothing worked. So then, she goes over and talks to the mom while I'm standing right there. And she asked her, where do you plan to bury your son? So like even now, that's the most difficult thing to say or to hear. I have children, I have kids, and to think about having to plan that or do that, it's very, very difficult. It's tough. So I've said this pretty much to everybody I've talked to. It's never for me, for Bill, it's never a feeling of guilt, like we didn't do something we were supposed to do. We did everything we could. Well, we did it as fast as we possibly could. But it's my heart is broken for that family. The fact that they won't get to say, goodbye or have a good day, or, you're in trouble or something like that, then hang on just one second.